Hi, welcome to the first episode of Bleedingham TV, where we're going to be talking about the Bleedingham Film Festival, which happens here in Bellingham. We're going to look at some of the films that have been submitted, and we're going to talk to some of the filmmakers. My name is Langley West.
And I'm Randy Matthews, and today we'll be talking to Byron and Nicholas Gouette, who are the creators of Scent of a Kill, Natasha.
So, guys, I can't tell you how excited we are to be looking at your film today and to be showing your film on public access. It's one of the prettiest things that I've seen come into Bleedingham, so it's very cool, and that's why it won Best Cinematography this year at the Bleedingham Film Festival. But if you would, go ahead and introduce yourselves and lead us into your film.
My name is Byron Gouette, writer-director.
I'm Nicholas Gouette, writer-director as well.
And our film is called Scent of a Kill, and I guess it's like a moody, atmospheric horror thriller involving a limousine, a woman, a man, and some neon lights.
Let's check it out.
Our management guarantee your satisfaction and have selected each girl. For individual or unique scenarios, all girls will be dropped off and picked up in a timely manner. Any additional time will result in punishment. We are offering discounts for any girls under 10.
No. That's not what I want. I know what I want. I want the Red Iris package. Any of the usual women of age will be fine.
What account will this be under?
0107111391.
She shall arrive in approximately 30 minutes.
get the wooden nails? My blood wasn't good enough for you to wash it down with your own piss? Fuck you.
Wow, you guys, that was truly beautiful. And that just makes me wonder, how did you guys get into filmmaking?
Gosh, I think I was around third grade, so that was 8, 9 years old.
Yeah.
And we grew up with older films. We didn't have TV or internet, so my grandpa would tape us VHS tapes of
Oh, cool.
you know, Turner Classic Movies and stuff. So we primarily started our love for cinema that way. And then as we got older, you know, we started, you know, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and then it wasn't until we pretty much got to college and when we really explored, you know, everything else that's out there.
You guys are both, you're based here in Bellingham?
Correct, yeah.
Cool. What now? I think from looking at that, I think that some of your influences are probably obvious. But who are some of your influences?
I guess some of our biggest influences would be Nicholas Winding Refn, the director of Drive, Only God Forgives, The Neon Demon. Werner Herzog. I like how he views humanity. It's kind of dark,
Sure.
which we definitely, both of us really like that. And Harmony Korine, Spring Breakers, Trash Humpers, Gummo. His stuff is just awesome. And Lars von Trier, Antichrist, Michael Haneke for sure. So a lot of foreign films, a lot of films that deal with atmosphere and like kind of the dark pieces of, I guess, I don't know, of
Dark side of humanity.
Yeah, the dark side of humanity is kind of what interests us, I guess.
So for your film, why did you choose vampires?
We didn't really, that just kind of happened, actually.
Yeah, initially it wasn't going to be anything like that. And then it was just, we were purely interested in doing a mood piece. So we were kind of like, oh, maybe we should just do something with like hardly any dialogue and just have it kind of like suspense. And then we're like, man, it might not make it into the festival if it's just a mood piece. Like maybe we should add a little bit more horror to it. So we're like, well, why? Maybe we should like make, you know, the main character a vampire. And
Sure.
Then from then we're like, well, what if the woman was this? And so we kind of started to kind of steer it into a different direction. Because at first we kind of wanted like a body horror movie.
Right.
So
Well, that's how that's how some of the best stories get made, right? And what if this, and then that leads to oh.
Right.
And then, I've seen some of the other stuff that you guys have done, and I hadn't seen anything that looked like this. Was that a real conscious decision?
yeah, definitely. Like, I think we've always wanted to do something that looked more like this, but just due to budget and just, I guess we were busy in college, so we
Sure.
didn't have enough time to get everything that we wanted to make, something that looked like what this one looked. So we had a little bit extra time on this, but again, the deadline was coming up for Bleedingham, and I think we had like 2 weeks till the deadline, and I quickly drafted up the script, and I went on Model Mayhem, contacted the actors and actress, and it went from there really quick. We filmed it for 12 hours straight, and then the next weekend we did pickup shots, and then we went home from Seattle, drove back from Seattle, 2-hour drive back to Bellingham, and then edited all night, like for, I guess, like...
Yeah, it was all night and like half the next day.
Right, and then submitted it. It was crazy.
When, and this is a very important, I've been thinking about this question a lot in preparation for this, because I knew I was going to be talking to you guys. Was that real pee?
No.
Don't say that. It totally was. We kept the actor, like, we gave him a bunch of apple juice, and we're like, you cannot use the bathroom. You cannot go to the bathroom. And no. Yeah, no. But, I mean, the thought did cross our mind. Like, like, what if we just used it? No one would know, but we would know.
Right, yeah.
And we have a motto, pain is temporary, film is forever. So if, urinary tract infection, what's that? What's that?
Did you guys face any other complications during your filming?
Yeah, quite a few. Like battery levels, of course. It was getting colder, so the battery levels for some reason were, all of a sudden it was like, 70% and then 30%, and we're like, oh no, we still have like the last shot. And I think the scene in the alleyway towards the end, we quickly shot that one take, and we're like, we really didn't think we had it. And then when we came back and we started editing, like, okay, we'll make it work.
Awesome.
And another thing was just, I guess, time, yeah, just
Always an issue.
yeah. So the next project will have more pre-production for sure.
I really like how you were able to one, make the story and drive the story forward, but two, create that atmosphere using primarily lighting. And I don't just mean the pinks and the blues and the neon, but the lighting in the city as we're walking down the street was great. How'd you do that?
Well, we shot it on the Sony A7S, so it's super low light. It's awesome in low light.
Sure.
Yeah, we used that camera, and then I don't know, it's kind of weird.
It's all natural light.
Yeah, it's all natural lighting.
Really?
And then just in Adobe Premiere, we, just messed with the light levels a little bit and
Sure.
Highlighted just a few things, but it's pretty much all natural. Of course, someday, hopefully, we could, afford to make it even, fancier.
In the film, when, well, I'm not giving anything away because we watched it already, but when she's walking to the car with his head, whose head was that?
Well, there was a lot of homeless people around.
Well, there's one in particular.
I love that apartment you guys filmed in.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Did you know whose that was, or?
I found it on Airbnb.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, and yeah, it's funny because like on Airbnb, of course, you can rent it for the night, but we figured if we're like filming and doing this kind of weird stuff, like if we didn't tell them that we were filming there, they might like kick us out, which was not going to be worth it.
Right.
So for this particular one, for this particular one, we let them know that it was for a film shoot, and then of course they charged us more. But yeah, but it was worth it because there were people around, so and we had cameras, so that it worked out. We didn't.
Right.
We didn't. There was no problem.
There was
so.
nobody there going, "Whoa, what do
Yeah.
you know?" Like,
But we never met the owners or any. The guy came down and gave us the key, and I think he was used to films, or
Okay.
you know, I guess they do events there too. So, and it was weird. It was downtown Seattle by kind of by Pike's Place, actually.
one of the great, one of the things you're trying to do all the time is add production value to your shot. Did you know that you were going to be using a limousine with?
Initially, we were actually going to go with something crazier.
Yeah.
Well, we were going to go with like crazy luxury, exotic car, like a Lamborghini or a McLaren. So there is a place that we found that does that, but our budget wouldn't allow it for this particular one. So we were like, well, what's the next best thing? Limo.
Cool.
So we emailed a limo company, and they were really cool and generous. And the two drivers that we actually used two different limos on 2 different days. So if you actually look closely, we're gonna give it away. They're a little different, but and the 2 limo drivers that we had were awesome. And we're just like, hey, can you drive down this alleyway? And it's like super, thin alleyway. And they're like, oh yeah, no problem. And we got high centered at one point too, but.
And then the other set piece or prop that I wanted to ask you about was the use of the nail gun.
Oh, sweet, yeah.
With the wooden nail.
Yeah, yeah. So cool. Whose idea?
That was the nail gun itself is yours.
Yeah.
But you had silver.
But I had silver, and
stain.
it was terrible. I have to admit, I was combining werewolf and vampires, and I was getting confused, and I put silver, but that's
I didn't catch it either.
That's
It was
werewolves,
actually
right? So-
somebody on
Well,
set that-
it works for vampires too.
Does it?
oh, okay. So but then we're like, well, let's do something different. So let's do wooden nails.
That's a much cooler idea.
Yeah. We wanted to do something different for the weapon. Because everything's been done before. So that's why we added the kukri blade, just for something unique, and then a nail gun. And it's a little bit of a homage to American Psycho for that one scene
Sure.
where, he's behind Chloe Sevigny's head, And that also, with the luxury apartment, it was a little bit of an homage, but that's not really why we did it. It was just something like, oh, what's something, unique about, let's do something different. So of course, we bought the nail gun, and then we returned it afterwards. Because it's like, we're not going to use that.
Right. That's classic filmmakers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's one thing, budget-wise, we kind of splurged on a few things, and then, like some things we got to return.
A lot of times we'll get films that are submitted that weren't necessarily made for the festival. You made this for the festival?
Correct. Yeah.
That's so cool.
I know that we've heard about Bleedingham for a long time, and went to school with Gary Washington. So he had been bothering us a little bit in a good way. Good way, like, guys, you should submit, and we just never did. And then this last year, we're like, okay, we have to this year. We got a camera that we're happy with. We should just shoot something, even if it's like 5 minutes. And then that was kind of our the start of it, for sure.
Is filmmaking part of your? Is it your job? Or is it just something that you do for love?
Hopefully,
love.
definitely love. Yeah.
For now.
Hopefully one day we won't have a day job and we can just do that. That's the goal. Even if it's just so that we can just continue making independent films. Like,
Sure.
that would be fine. If we could just make a living off of that, that would be, dream come true for sure. So it's
Sure.
definitely a passion. I think we both kind of just breathe it.
Was it weird? Well, I guess you wouldn't have anything to compare it to, having a sibling that is into the same thing that you're into. Because so often, like, I know, like, my sister and I were like totally into like completely different things. So it's cool, yeah, to have somebody that close and that you
Yeah.
can.
It's funny because we're actually only 10 months apart, so I guess Irish twins? So, I don't know, we kind of, it's like almost like one brain, two bodies. we have pretty much the exact same taste in music and in film.
Cool.
So like on set, it's kind of cool because we both take turns doing the same stuff. Normally, sometimes he's kind of setting up the camera, making sure all the the ISO, aperture, all that stuff is right, and then I'll be talking to the actor. And then sometimes it's vice versa. So it's all natural, and it's just kind of cool. And then we just make sure that did you get that? Did you get this? And it's kind of a shorthand at this point, which is really cool.
That is cool. What's next?
We are working on our first film that's longer than, I guess, 15 minutes. So our goal is to do like a 45-minute short. And then maybe next year do another 45-minute and maybe combine them or something. So it'll be like a 90-minute thing. But it's a thriller, and we're gonna try and shoot it in like early July. So it gives us like 4 months to get everything in place and actually go through pre-production instead of doing the 1 week, 2 weeks in advance.
I can't wait to see what you guys bring to the table next year. I'm really excited. Thank you so much for coming out tonight and talking to us.
Yeah, thank you.
And
we hope to see you next year.
Definitely.
I hope to see you with a trophy again next year.
Sweet, yeah.
Maybe with some cash.
Cool.
So that's it for Bleedingham TV, episode 1. Once again, big thank you to our guests, Byron and Nicholas Gouette.
Goodness.
Stay scary.
Stay scary.